What's going on, YouTube? Doing a deck profile today for the previous event at the 100-man regional. I got top 16 with Red-Eyes Eldlich. I like to call it 40 cards of bricks. I came 16th place at the event. It was okay that day. I mean, I played against a lot of combo decks like Dry Times and Virtual Worlds and stuff. I lost majority of my die rolls. I only won one die roll that day. But overall, the event was cool and all. It was cool. But let me get started the video. I played one Dark Magician, one Red Eyes, and one Red Eyes Wyvern. I play this card because I play Red Eyes Insights. The graveyard effect to banish a special summon the Dragoon is very powerful. So even if they out my Dragoon with the droplets into punching over it, or like a Super Poly or whatever, or a Kaiju, if I have Red Eyes Insert, search Red Eyes Fusion, on end phase or the next turn, I can banish it, Specimen Dragoon, and they gotta deal with it again. Two Golden Boys in the main. I don't want to see three of these cards because, you know, it's just really bad. I just want to see one in the opener, or just not at all, period. Like, I really just don't want to see this card in opening hand. I'd rather search this card off of Curse Elin, so that's why I only play two in the main. I play 3 Hakeros, 3 Conquistadors, 3 Sanguine, and 1 Golden Land Forever. So I played it Forever because it's a counter trap that's searchable. Because what ends up happening is when I run into like fucking like control decks or like super combo decks, but they run like blowout cards and stuff, I can search this out and negate the blowout card, and then my back row is just live. So only thing I really fear is like a blowout card. So seeing this in the main game 1 is pretty legit. I play 3 strikes. Strikes is a good combination with the Torrentials and 3 Ice Dragons. So strike.
Dragoon says you can't be sure about card effects, not just your opponents, right?
Yeah.
So Torrential's really broken with that.
Yeah. So strike is really good for when they hand trap you, or when you trying to combo off with your Torrential or Ice Dragons and try to negate it. So that's why I play 3 strikes. Torrentials, I play 3 Torrentials because of the fact that, as the cameraman said, if I flip this card on my opponent's turn or my turn, and I have Dragoon on board, Dragoon stays. So it's basically a trap card that's a board wipe, and it just my board doesn't really care. Like if I lose a Golden Boy, I don't care. And if I summon Golden Boy from the graveyard, it can't be destroyed. So between Golden Boy and Dragoon, like this card is a super strong blowout card. If you flip this card on you know, Virtual Worlds or Zodiacs, or Drytons in certain circumstances, it just kind of ends the turn. So this is like a really powerful card. And this card right here, Ice Dragon Prison, is also a really powerful card. It kind of blows out certain decks, like Zoo, for example. If there's a Zodiac monster in graveyard and Dryden on board, if you flip this card, their only option is to use Dryden Effect to pop itself. If they ever use Dryden Effect to pop, they just lose a Dryden and another card in grave. And that's just really, really stings. And against Virtual Worlds, in certain circumstances, you could prevent them from summoning a VFD, or you can prevent them from killing you by using this card, right? And this card also has its own applications as well, because you could use monsters in your opponent's grave to summon on your board to push for damage, or you can use it as link material to link line.
And if you survive with your Eldlich engine, it's just GG.
Yeah, because the whole purpose of this deck is to beat down and grind, and this card in itself is just really good. I play 1 Call by the Grave just for the Ash, you know, or the Ghost Bell, or the Skullmeister. It depends. Because everybody just loves playing hand traps this format. I'm not playing any. 3 Curse Elin, staple. 3 Red Eyes Insights. Like, again, you send a Red Eyes Wyvern from the deck to the grave as cost, and then you can search a Red Eyes Fusion. And this card is just amazing. It's kind of bricky sometimes, but it's also kind of amazing. I play 3 Red Eyes Fusions. The whole purpose of this deck is to activate this card and to bring out Dragoon for his turn. So you play as many as possible. And even if they stop this card with the Ash, you still have 2 more left. So if you have Anaconda plays, you could just go into Anaconda and just summon this the next turn. Activate this to summon Dragoon the next turn.
How often did you actually go into Anaconda?
I go into Anaconda when I open up like 5 trap cards. So that's pretty often with this deck, especially when you break.
Okay.
It's pretty often. I played 3 Power of Prosperities. So Power of Prosperities is a card that was rotated in as soon as it was printed and released in the new set, which is Blazing Vortex. This card is better than Power of Extravagance, and if you're playing this deck, you should not be playing Power of Extravagance. I'll give you 3 reasons why this is just a better card than Power of Extravagance. For starters, Power of Extravagance says you have to activate this card first in the main phase. So that means if you're going second against a super negate board, or just a board with just 1 negate, You can't activate Dark Ruler no more and then Power of Extravagance. You have to activate Power of Extravagance and hope they don't negate it, right? So this card allows flexibility, so you can go Dark Ruler and then activate this card. Also, this card gives you the ability to banish 6 cards from your extra deck, which doesn't hurt you, by the way, and enables you to reveal 6 cards instead of just drawing 2 random cards off the top of your deck, right? So that's another added benefit to this card. Also, the cards from your extra deck are not random. You get to pick them. That's also a really good benefit because you don't have to play 3 Dragoons now. You don't have to play 3 Anacondas. You don't have to play all these 3
extra deck could be more flexible.
Irrelevant cards. You have more flexibility, and your extra deck becomes a toolbox, which is really important. Also, 3 of the MVPs. So, Angel Statue of Azura basically says you could tribute a continuous monster trap from the field and negate an inherent summon on board, which would be like a inherent pendulum summon, a chaos summon, extra deck summon, anything that doesn't start a chain link when it summons. You can activate this card. You can use itself, or you can use another continuous trap.
So you can't negate things like Monster Reborn brings up.
No, you can't negate Monster Reborn. You cannot negate Virtual World traps from the hand. You cannot negate fusion spells. I wish you could, but you just can't. But what's crazy about this card is it's not a hard once per turn. It's not a once per turn either. So, and also it contributes itself as well in resolve. And also, if it gets attacked by your opponent, it destroys the monster that battled it.
What level is it?
It's a level 4.
Oh, that would be more. It had more synergy if it was level 5.
If it was level 5, this card would be banned. But yeah, this card is really strong. And also, you can use it as link fodder to go into Anaconda plays.
Do you have any access to another level 4 in your deck?
I mean, if I wanted to manipulate my extra deck and play a level 4 monster, one was in my mind was Bagushka.
Okay.
That's a potential card.
No Dweller.
Not Dweller. I mean, I'm not really trying to make a Dweller. I could make a Dweller. That's an interesting suggestion. But between Dweller and Bagushka, those are the cards I'll probably play because they're blowouts. Okay. These are the 6 cards I play that they're part of prosperity targets. So I play 1 Omega. This is for if I run into Dragma matchups and they go Maximus to dump. I could dump the Omega and recycle back cards in my graveyard. I play 1 Nova, which brings out a Makaiba from Maximus. I play 1 Natisse, that's also from Maximus, depending on the situation, right? So I could dump Natisse and Nova to bring out Makaiba, and I get a pop. So that's also. I play 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Cerberus. I play 1 Goon. I play 1 BLS. I play 2 Link Spiders. This is for Link Climbing to get me into the Anaconda, which I play at 2. Mm-hmm. And I play 1 of the World Chalice doggies. It's the dragon / doggy. I play this card because when it battles a monster that it points to, it destroys the monster. So that's pretty cool. It has some type of tech plays, and it also helps me Link Climb as well.
Okay.
I also play 1 Gusto Cannon. This is for when you have 2 Golden Boys. You burn your opponent. It's a 2,000 burn, and it has certain potential for OTKs as well if I have 2 Golden Boys on board. Because I could burn it for 2, detach the Golden Boy, use the effective Golden Boy to send a spell trap, bring it on board. That's a 35 beater and a 3,000 beater, and they just burn for 2k, so that's game.
That's great in time, too.
It's really good in time. And I also play 1 Pallades. Pallades is just for like situations where going to Anaconda is not optimal, but this card is like the better play, and it's a really good grind. I think this is a misprint, too, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure yet. Looks like a misprint because of the borders. But yeah, that's my extra deck. And then my side deck, I'm playing 1 Harpy Feather Duster. This is for the control matchups. I'm running into the mirror match or just any back row deck. I just want to see 1 Harpy Feather Duster. 1 Golden Lore. This is for the grind games. When you're playing against decks like Shadalls, you're playing against Eldlich. Any deck that wants to grind you out and potentially could banish a Golden Boy, you want to play 3 just in case. 1 IO if I'm going first in a game 2 or 3 situation. I side this in for the blowout cards. 3 Judgments. This is for the grind or if I'm going first against any deck that plays blowouts. I play 3 Cosmic Cyclones for the grind decks or just back row period.
Do you side that in against Dryton?
No.
And banish the
no.
ritual? Okay.
In situations like that where I want to banish the ritual spell, I'm better off just playing this or this.
Okay.
And then using my other cards to just not let them advance game state, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I'm playing 3 Dark Rulers. I'm playing Dark Rulers for any deck that just puts a board out that just says I can't play Yugioh. This is for like the rogue decks, like, you know, PKs, Infernobles, Dinosaurs, Drytons, if they're playing Banny's Ruler still. Just anything that puts a board out that says negate. Because honestly, this deck doesn't really play well against Omni Negates. So this card helps you get through Omni Negate boards. and I play 3 droplets. These droplets are also just an extension to help you get through like big boards that say you can't play Yugioh. I do not side ascend against the Virtual World matchup. My theory is that against Virtual Worlds, VFD is not the problem. The problem is their ability to grind out monsters and their continual traps, ability to keep popping my stuff. So against the Virtual World matchup, I'm more inclined to siding cards like this, or Judgments, or even Comic Cyclones, you know. Because once the Virtual World trap card is out of the equation, which they only play 2 of, they kind of just lose the grind from there. Especially if both their traps get banished. They're going to have Nania to recycle it back, and that's kind of bad in certain circumstances. So, yeah, this is the side deck. My thoughts on the deck for that event, I did not like the fact that I didn't see Dragoon enough. I didn't like the fact that I didn't win die roll enough. The only changes I would honestly make with this deck is I would probably cut this card, right? I'll probably cut this card.
Why?
And I'll probably cut this card.
Ice Dragon too.
So so I'll start with Azura, Angel Statue, right? So Angel Statue is really cool and it's really popping. The only problem with this card is that when you're going second, this card is kind of like, yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of, yeah. When you're going first, this card's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of cool. I think in a format where there's more inherent summoning, this card is really powerful. When you don't have the Sanguine Golden Land combo, and you just have, like, a bunch of Golden Land traps in this card, you know, if they have the board wipe, you just kind of lose from there. So, and also, like, the distributing ability can just be played around. They go straight to battle phase and, like, punch over it. Or if they just negate this, too. Because they can negate this card with droplets. You know, droplet stops this. And that's actually pretty good, too. So, like, this card in itself felt kind of dead sometimes. And this card also felt kind of dead. So, Ice Dragons is really powerful and really strong, right? But the problem is, against the Virtual World matchup, if they dump the trap card, the new trap that says you could banish pitch special, they could basically play around this card. And also because Virtual Worlds play a bunch of different types, they don't have to have Worm Engrave, Worm on field, or Psychic Engrave, Psychic on field. So there's certain situations where it's like this card is dead, like super dead, and it's already dead against Drytons, right?
Yeah.
So if it's dead against 2 of the best decks, like why play it? It's only really good against Rogue. It blows out Rogue decks, or it blows out back row decks, like Zoo Eldlich, right? Or just pure Eldlich, right? Like, it blows those decks out. But, like, against the combo decks, they kind of play it through, like, the good players play through this card pretty easily. So, I'm going to be debating on playing this card in the future events.
Okay. Any shout-outs?
Shout out to Plus Guyz. Shout out to Peter Quersha for helping me build this deck. Shout out to my teammates for helping me play test. Shout out to Robbie Cole for posting my deck profile on YouTube. I was kind of surprised when it happened because, like, no one really told us that our deck profiles would be released. So I was kind of like, you know, why's my shit out there? But since it's already out there, I might as well make a deck profile video and, like, explain to you guys my card choices and stuff like that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment below if you have any thoughts on my deck list or any improvements or my thoughts on what I was saying. If you're wondering, do I ash this card? My answer is no. You do not ash Power of Prosperity. You let the card resolve. Whatever they get is what they get. Depending on the matchup, game 2 and 3, you can ash the card. If they're playing like decks like Eldlich Pure and they're playing like stun cards or back row cards, then sure, ash this card because it's a free, you know, search. But if they're playing combo decks like Virtual Worlds or Dryton, why the hell are you wasting the ash against this card?
They're just gonna kill you.
They're gonna keep going. Like, why? Like, why? You know, so
I feel like you can ash it if you have your board established already. You really don't care.
If it's game 1, you don't ash this card.
Absolutely.
You don't know what they're playing.
Yeah.
Game 2 and 3, depending on what they're playing, yeah, sure, ash it. But right now, no, you don't ash Power of Prosperity.
All right.
Peace.